Well, we just saw one of the greatest baseball games of all time. Game 7 of the World Series is over, and it's time to have a conversation about the future of the World Series losing Toronto Blue Jays. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not super worried, but I am a little bit worried on how this team is going to do in 2026. I wanted to make a video today on how the Blue Jays were saving the sport a little bit with their defense and contact first approach, but they blew it. And in game 7, they blew it with that contact approach. They couldn't get the job done. They left the tying run in the 11th inning on third base with 1 out, and they left the winning run in the 9th inning on third base with 1 out as well. The bullpen struggles showed up in game 7, and it's just extremely unfortunate that it had to happen like this. I'm sure you already know, and I don't want to put salt in the wounds for Blue Jays fans, but Jeff Hoffman gave up a home run to Miguel Rojas, and that's what happened all year for the Blue Jays. The bullpen, it wasn't good, and it showed up throughout this playoff run for the Blue Jays, and it's really what made them lose in Game 7, and realistically a couple of the other games as well. Now that the World Series is over, now that the Blue Jays season is over, I want to congratulate them for having a phenomenal season. Obviously, I think they were the best team in baseball. I think they were better than the Los Angeles Dodgers, even though the Los Angeles Dodgers beat them. I'm not taking away from the Dodgers at all. I don't want you to think that I'm doing that, but I think that the way that the Blue Jays played baseball, if they were to play the Dodgers again in a 7-game series, I like the Blue Jays' chances of coming out on top. I just think that they're a very, very good baseball team. However, they're losing some key pieces going into 2026 if they are not re-signed. And by the way, over 95% of my viewers are not subscribed, so just consider subscribing. That's it, we're keeping it short and simple today. Just subscribe, it'll help me out. Of course, the biggest issue is going to be Bo Bichette and his free agency that's looming. Bo is one of the most important players in all of baseball in my opinion, especially on a team like the Toronto Blue Jays where they care so much about contact and getting base hits. Bo Bichette is the hit king in Major League Baseball today. I know Luis Arraez exists, but all he does is hit singles. Bo is going to get you doubles, he's going to get you home runs, and he's going to lead the league in hits. He is extremely, extremely good, and if you lose a player like that on a team like this, I'm very concerned, and apparently, according to a couple of reporters, Bo's projected to make like $250 million in free agency. I don't know if the Blue Jays are going to be able to afford that, but we'll get into that a little bit later when we're talking about this team. Now, Chris Bassett and Max Scherzer also had pretty good seasons for the Blue Jays this year. They are free agents as well. Scherzer didn't have his best career season, but when you have a first ballot Hall of Famer in the clubhouse, it's definitely going to help out certain guys. And if they don't bring him back, they're going to lose that piece of the team. And Chris Bassett was very good in October for the Blue Jays out of the bullpen, even though in Game 7 he gave up a key run, which ended up being one of the reasons why they lost. However, if you don't bring those two guys back, this is another big problem in my opinion, as you're going to have to find starting rotation depth. And once again, like I'm going to get into later, you don't have a lot of money to do that with. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is also a free agent, but that's not the end of the world. And then Sir Anthony Dominguez, one of their back-end relievers, is also a free agent, and Shane Bieber has a $16 million player option that I assume he's going to opt out of to get a 2 to 3, maybe even 4-year deal with someone else. He was also really good in the World Series. He's not there anymore. Again, he blew Game 7 as well, like kind of everyone did on the Blue Jays, unfortunately. But if he's gone, that's another really good starting pitcher that you're going to need to find a way to replace, and I don't know how you're going to do that with the money that you have. Now, I don't want to get too much into speculation for who was overperforming for the Blue Jays this year, but I do have to mention it because we're talking about what's going to happen in 2026. Players like Ernie Clement, Addison Barger, and even Nathan Lucas, are these guys real star players, or were they just overperforming? Who are these guys going forward? Ernie Clement was never even like a league average hitter, and in the playoffs this year, he broke the record for the most hits in the playoffs. Are we going to get that version of Ernie Clement in 2026? Maybe we will, and if we do, he's one of the best fielders in baseball. So if we're getting a guy that can field like that and also hit like that, Ernie Clement is going to be a real piece to this Blue Jays team next year, and it can really soften the blow if you do lose a guy like Bo Bichette. Addison Barger, I do think will be really, really good in upcoming seasons. I think he's a budding superstar, or at least a star. His bat speed is ridiculous. He swings an absolute toothpick. His arm strength is ridiculous. He's just one of the strongest guys in baseball, and I think he's going to be like Ben Rice, where next year he's going to get even better and he's going to become a household name in MLB fans. And then someone like Nathan Lucas, I also think he's going to be a good player because he has that contact first approach. He hits high velocity fastballs really well, but again, this was kind of a one-off season for what these guys have been in their career. Lucas and Barger, of course, are young players, but we haven't seen this for more than one season. So in 2026, are we going to see this again? Or are we going to see a player that's closer to a league average player? Because that makes a huge difference on what the 2026 Blue Jays are going to be. The Blue Jays were one of the best offenses in baseball, but it kind of came out of nowhere because last year they were 23rd in runs scored. They do have a new hitting coach, they do have a new hitting philosophy it feels like, and it feels like they found their identity. So if they stick to this identity, once again, I feel pretty good about it going forward, but again, it's a one-off season that we need to see if it's going to continue to be like this. Defensively, I still think this team is going to be really good. Pitching side of the ball, I'm worried about for sure. And offense, I think we're yet to see if it's going to be really good in 2026. Now, next year, they are already around a $250 million payroll if they pick up all of their options. Now, this is because a lot of guys are going into arbitration. Alejandro Kirk especially is going into arbitration, and then a decent amount of the relievers are as well. Now, this is already over the luxury tax. The Blue Jays are one of the richest teams in baseball, and they can definitely throw money around if they want to. But are they going to be willing to go up to a $300, $350, even a $400 million payroll? Because that's what it's going to have to take to improve on this team. To get Bo Bichette back and Chris Bassett back, good relievers, Shane Bieber back, you're going to be around $300 to $400 million, and I don't know if they're going to be willing to spend that big in 2026. If they are, they're going to be really good. If they're not, I'm not too sure. Like I said before, I'm not overly sure how sustainable this approach is going to be moving forward. I'm really interested to see how well their defense and contact approach does in 2026, but if the pitching isn't as good, are they going to be able to outscore their opponents? Is the defense going to be able to shine in a way like it did in 2025? Again, I'm not saying that it's not going to, but I think you really have to look yourself in the mirror and try to figure out if you really believe in that approach going forward. Personally, I think I would, but it's something that's not a proven thing yet. Again, the rotation is going to be a lot weaker next season. What's going on with Jose Barrios? Is he going to go back into the bullpen, or is he going to be a starter again? What about Yariel Rodriguez? Trey Savage looked awesome in the playoffs. He's going to be great. Are the Blue Jays going to make a big splash in free agency, even though they don't have a ton of money? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll go after a Michael King. Maybe they'll go after a Dylan Cease. Maybe they'll try to trade for somebody like Tarek Skubal, or maybe someone like a Hunter Green or a Freddie Peralta who are on lower deals. I don't know what they're going to do, but I feel like they need another starting pitcher, even though they don't have a ton of money to make a good move. Thank God they extended Vlad. That's all I can say. Because if they had not extended Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and we were going into this offseason right now without that contract, Blue Jays fans would be miserable right now. I'm sure they are already, and I feel very bad for them, of course. Their fans really deserve this win, in my opinion, but thank God that they still have the face of their franchise for upcoming years. I'm very disappointed for the fans, like I just said. I'm very disappointed in what this means for baseball potentially in 2027. I really hope that this doesn't affect the luxury tax, and I'm very disappointed for Blue Jays fans. I think they are phenomenal. They really make Rogers Center explode when good things happen there, and it's awesome to see. I really do love playoff Rogers Center, and it's disappointing because the Blue Jays felt like the team of destiny. They felt like the team that could have taken down the Dodgers, and I really think that they could have if things went right for them. Unfortunately, the Dodgers played a really, really good Game 7. They came back and they won. Credit to the Dodgers, but it still sucks for the Blue Jays. The playoff struggles came back late. They just couldn't get back over that final hurdle. That ninth inning, like I mentioned, where they left the runner on third base, that would have been the walk-off run. They were so close to winning on a fielder's choice in that situation, but Miguel Rojas saved him again. 2 outs away from the World Series win in the top of the ninth, and Miguel Rojas saved the Dodgers with a home run. And then in that 11th inning, Alejandro Kirk grounded into a double play. I'm worried about their future a little bit, but I also think that they're still in a great spot. You gotta remember that Anthony Santander really didn't even play this year, and the year before, I think he hit 44 home runs or something like that. He's a really, really good player. He just wasn't healthy this year, and when he was healthy, he just didn't look right. It's a wash season. I think he's going to be good next year though. Trey Savage is a monster, and he's going to be awesome to watch in the upcoming years. I can't wait to watch him develop. I can't wait to see what happens when that fastball becomes a real good fastball in MLB instead of just having the off-speed pitches. He is going to be one of the pitchers that you do not want to miss when he's on the mound. Alejandro Kirk is one of the best catchers in baseball, if not the best catcher in baseball, even though again today it just didn't go his way. That speed, man, he just can't hit ground balls in that situation. It's so disappointing, but Alejandro Kirk, offensively and defensively, is one of the best catchers in baseball. Dalton Varsho also didn't play much this year because of a shoulder surgery. He is one of the best defenders in baseball, again, if not the best defender in baseball, and he has ridiculous power for a center fielder. He's another key piece to this lineup that's going to be here for a very long time. George Springer had a real bounce back season that's going to put him in contention for winning comeback player of the year. He's one of the best postseason performers that I have ever seen with my own eyes, and I think he's still a very, very good player and is going to be a key to this Blue Jays team in the future. Barger, Clement, and Lucas, like I mentioned earlier, I think they all might be good, but we just haven't seen it for a long enough sample size to know if they really are really good players or if these are fluke players. Again, I'd bet Barger is really good. Clement and Lucas, I think that they will be good as well because they don't strike out and they make contact, and that still plays in 2025. Vlad, of course, is everything for this Blue Jays team. He's the best player on the team. He's one of the best players in baseball. And again, thank God that they kept him. Thank God that he signed for the long term because they need him. They need him badly. The Blue Jays, they gotta bring back Bo Bichette. Him and Vlad are the Blue Jays in my opinion. I don't think their contact approach will work in the way that it did this year if they didn't have Bo Bichette. Desperately, in my opinion, they need to find a way to get Bo back. I think he's going to want to stay in Toronto. I think Toronto's obviously going to want to keep him. I think all that it's going to come down to is if the Blue Jays are able to give the money that he wants. And I think that they will because they've thrown money around a lot and normally they don't sign. So if you have a player like Bo who wants to sign, just give him the money that he wants. He's worth it. I learned a lot from the Blue Jays this year. I loved the brand of baseball that they played. 2 months ago, I said that they were the best team in baseball because of their defense, because of their ability to hit with runners in scoring position, because of their ability to come back in the late innings. And unfortunately, I really wanted to see that fruition turn into a reality, where Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was holding up the World Series trophy, and Ernie Clement was somehow a key piece of this insane Blue Jays brand of baseball. It was special, it really was. It was like Guardians baseball, it was like Rays baseball, but with a high payroll, and it was really cool to see. Unfortunately, they didn't win the World Series. Congratulations, Dodger fans. If you're still watching, you guys probably are pissed at me right now for what I'm saying. But either way, congratulations to the Dodgers. I feel for you, Blue Jays fans. I hope you guys are back next year. It was a really good season for the Blue Jays. I hope that brand continues. And I hope next year they're competing at the top of the AL East again with my favorite team, the Boston Red Sox. They're fun to watch. I really appreciate the Blue Jays. And let's hope that in 2026, they're the same Blue Jays because they are very fun to watch. In Rogers Center, it's electric. Thank you, Blue Jays fans, for making this a very memorable postseason for me personally to be able to watch this. Thank you for the support on my Blue Jays video from 2 months ago. And I'm sorry again that your team could not get over that final hurdle. But this should not be looked at as a negative season whatsoever. This was an incredible season, and I hope that they're back next year. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.